Hello, Pathway Worldwide. This is Andy Vale making another video for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at some a little bit more complicated things in Excel. We're going to look at section 4.1, exercise part B. As the problem reads, we're going to make a spreadsheet of the table of growth of a savings account for 20 years that begins with $200 and receives a $25 deposit each month and grows at 6% compounded monthly. The table should show the yearly values at the end of each year. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead in these green cells, and I'm going to put the numbers that I know are there, and then I want to label them I want to put the label over them. So we start out with our lump sum, or our present value, as $200. But since we are putting in $200, I'm actually going to put this as a negative, and you'll see why I do that later on. So just trust me for now. Then we have a payment, PMT, of $25. I want to also put that as a negative 25. Okay. The other thing it tells us is that we have a 6% APR, annual percentage rate, of 6%. Okay. And the other thing it tells us is that it compounds monthly. So compound and we're going to put 12 for monthly. And I think that should be it as far as things that we need to put in there. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is start filling out our graph. So here are our little table. So here we have the years, and I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little trick to do that, what you can do is you can just put 1, so you just put 1, 2, 3, and then I want to highlight all of these, and it's going to detect a pattern, and as I drag down it'll continue on, so down to 20. And I'm going to label this years, or year, what year it is. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to do our rate, so or almost our APR. Okay, I'm going to equals, and I'm going to refer back to this, and I'm going to lock it with F4, put dollar signs in between before the B and before the 13. And to get this to all the years, I just simply drag it down, and it should stick if I do that F4 trick. The next thing I would want to do is I want to do the number of times it compounds. So I'm going to compounds. And I'm going to equal this. I'm going to lock it that F4, and I'm just going to hit enter and then drag it down, and it should keep the same number. Make this a little bit wider, that way compounds feel comfortable in there. The next thing I'm going to do is our payment. Our present value. So PV equals, and I'm going to do this, lock it, enter, and then drag it down, because we always have the same PV. Payment, I'm going to equals this, lock it, enter, and then drag it down. The next thing I want to try to do is the rate. So this is the rate every year that it grows. And to do this, I'll just simply go equals this APR divided by 12. And notice how I didn't lock anything on this. I didn't use the F4 trick for anything. I want this to drag down all the way down and use different numbers. So I'm going to put equal, enter, and that is our rate every year, every month. So every month, that's the year, that's the rate it grows. And the next thing I want to do is the in per, or how many months that passed since then. And for this, I'm going to do equals the number of months, number of compounds within a year, times the amount of years has passed. So just 1 month, this should be just 1 times 12, which is 12. But as we continue on, it should just grow by 12, which it does perfectly. So now this is the little tricky part. We're going to use a FV function to figure out how much money we have. Make that comfortable here. We're going to put equals FV, and I see it pop up, and I can either tap on it, or if you don't see it pop up, you can just simply put a parenthesis. First it wants our rate, so we're gonna click our rate. That's good, we're not gonna lock it, comma. We're gonna do our in per, right here, that's great, comma, and not lock it. We're gonna do our payment here, not lock it, and then we're gonna do our present value. And don't go on to type, just close the parentheses, hit enter, and that should give you your first answer. Now if you have nothing locked on here, you should be able to drag it all the way down and it worked for every single thing, which it does. So that's how you complete the table that's required in section 4. In section 4.1 and for problem 11. Now as we go on to 13, it asks how much money did you put in. So our own money, okay, and for that we will we'll simply do like if we're just shoving it under our mattress. So we're just going to take our present value. We had $200 under our mattress at the beginning, and then and I'm going to put a negative sign under here just so it turns out positive, okay, and I'm going to add, subtract this payment, which is going to be adding our payment, times, and how many ever times the in per is, so 12 times. So if we would have just done this normally, just shoving it on our mattress, we would have $500 of our own. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change this to a dollar sign and get rid of those numbers. Actually, I'll put back those decimals. So now that I've only done and not locked any of that, I should be able to drag this down. And sometimes you get these number signs. That just means that it's a little bit too big for things. So I want to go ahead and widen it a little bit, and there you can see all my answers. So that's what we had made on our own if we just put underneath our mattress the money and that payment for as long as the time permitted. So now to find out the interest, money, I would just do a simple function of calculation of equals what we got, our total money, minus the money we would have had just by saving on our own, and that's how much money the bank gave us. So here's pretty simple to see, $20.72, and since we didn't lock any of that, we will go down and copy that all the way down, and that number of problems again, so I'm just going to widen a little bit more, and that's how much money. So there we have the answer to those problems. If you notice, the more you can save, the more diligence you have with saving that $25, the more interest money, or the more money the bank gives you for letting them keep your money. It grows and grows and grows. So here we got $12,000, and this $12,000, half of it came from us, yes, but the other half came from the bank. So it's almost like the bank's helping us save money by giving us money. So some pretty awesome stuff. So that is the answer for that, and I hope you're understanding a little bit more about Excel and understanding a little bit more about how to use this. So this is good. Hopefully this helps, and I wish you all the best in the future.